Hello, dear Cancer. I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your May 2021 horoscope. Remember, these are generalized readings. Come find me at jamiedawn.com for some personal attention and information intuitively, astrologically. And also, these readings can apply to a Cancer sun, Cancer rising, Cancer moon. But again, it can all be very individualized. Thank you so much for your support. Let's dive right in because we have a very active and interesting month for you, Cancer, especially as the sun is still in Taurus. So it is making a beautiful sextile to your sun or rising and moon, and hopefully feeding this great desire to nurture, to love, to make people feel really at home with you and finding that sense of belonging, especially as Mars is still in your sign and will be in your sign all month. And hopefully you're feeling this fierce protection for something that you really care about, your family, a cause. Maybe there's some sort of patriotism that has shown up for you. And May 4th, we have Mercury entering Gemini in your 12th house. So your 12th house being active with the mind, and you may decide you need to do some research, maybe spend some time at a library, if you will. Now it's all online, maybe it's Google, but you'll maybe spend some time researching deeper meanings, and maybe there's spiritual matters that you want to research, or understanding what an institution is imposing or that you are part of in some way. It could be that you work in a field that you have an institution that you work in. It could be a government institution, could be a hospital, it could be healthcare of other kinds, mental health, that sort of thing. Could be a spiritual organization or spiritual retreat center. Maybe that's the type of institution that you work with. But either way, you may find yourself really actively researching and practicing certain subconscious things that you need a deeper understanding of. The other thing is on May 9th, we've got Venus entering Gemini, so also entering that 12th house. So you're going to have this beginning activation of this 12th house energy where with Venus here, you may not always feel qualified, or you may not always feel attractive when something good is happening for you, maybe behind the scenes. And so here, Venus, a benefic, she may offer you an opportunity to attract some information that you need, maybe in all this research that can actually help your cause or help you defend or protect your family or whatever it is that's been active for you. You may find that you're working with women in particular in an institutional way. The other thing that we have is we have a new moon in Taurus on the 11th. So your 11th house gets its beautiful blessing again of a new moon where you get to plant some seeds of intention around, communal living or how you want to participate, particularly in a group. Some of you may have friendships that get started because you join a new group or because you are finding yourself in a new role. Maybe you're the consummate mother in the group and you're having to nurture a group of people through a process. And I'll tie this back into the 12th house, that it's possible that you may be working with others in an institutional way and you're having to nurture them in a way that helps them feel like family. They want to feel safe, and you're really good at doing that. Maybe you're on the receiving end of needing to feel safe, and you can find that your friends lean in on you, or the organization and groups that you belong to are supporting you. If they're not, you may let them go, especially because, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but we do have a full moon eclipse in Sagittarius at the end of the month. I'll get to that in a second, but before I do, let's also talk about May 13th. Jupiter will dip its toe into Pisces, and it's in your 9th house. This is a beautiful time that will activate this feeling of the whole world is a global village for you, and that you can belong anywhere with anyone of any background. It may also bring some justice that you need for your cause or your family member. It also can offer you the opportunity to learn and teach in a greater capacity from all your experiences. It could expand your family in a way that maybe people from all kinds of walks of life are coming to you because of the good work that you're doing. The other thing that could be active here is you may have a lot of communication because of all the Gemini energy that's going to be happening towards the second half of the month. You may be having a lot of communication with others on a larger scale or somebody in the justice system so that you can find resolution. I do get that the month of May brings resolution. The other thing I would offer is that we have the sun moving into Gemini now, again, activating that 12th house, possibly making you a leader in a group of spiritual minded people. Maybe the sun energizes your search for greater meaning in the spiritual realm or in the institutional field. It is possible, because there are shadows to everything, that it could also make you feel as though you are not able to express yourself. You're trapped or imprisoned by the information. Somebody's holding you back from sharing information that you ultimately need to share with others. And they're not listening to you. And so you're going to have to find other ways around it. Thank you, Mars in Cancer, that you can find other ways to get what you want. It's maybe not the most direct approach, which you're really good at. You can manipulate it. You can be a little passive around it and be resourceful. Especially at that Taurus new moon on the 11th, you may find new resources that allow you to still get what you want. Now, we do have a Saturn going retrograde in your 8th house on May 23rd, and it will stay retrograde throughout the summer. So you'll have time to look at maybe your resources that you have with somebody else or loans that you might have. There could be some sort of inheritance or something psychological that you are working with that you need to revisit and build in a different way, but taking your time. And so you may find some frustration showing up with maybe getting that loan or how you actually have to start repaying it back and putting a plan into place, that sort of thing. I would also say that you may be revisiting issues of intimacy while Saturn is sitting here and finding new ways in which you can be more intimate within your relationships, within the causes that you're defending within your family, that sort of thing. Intimacy requires trust, doesn't come easily. Trust is built over time and testing. And I will offer this, Cancer. It's so important for you to trust your intuitive nature. So keep coming back to your own inner wisdom and trusting yourself through these processes. One thing I didn't mention is that those of you who may be in relationship, a bonded, strong relationship, that when Venus enters Gemini in that 12th house, it's possible that you may be looking at ways which you support your partner or they support you in going really, really deep into that subconscious and working with any feelings of inadequacy or fears or things like that. The reason I'm bringing this up is that can help to set the stage for deeper intimacy, but you have to be willing to be vulnerable and to trust. The other thing I can offer you as well this month, Cancer, is that you may find yourself in different areas of life where, especially if you're a single Cancer, where there's a relationship that maybe has been put on hold. Maybe it hasn't really taken off the way you wanted to, or there's distance between the two of you. I do feel as though when Jupiter moves into Pisces and Saturn retrogrades and the sun enters Gemini, so May 13th through the end of the month, and even into June, you'll be revisiting some of the conversations and some of the connections that you have with this person. And I will say, Cancer, I feel like you will let the relationship go for what it is. Doesn't mean the relationship ends. It just means that the type and the way that you interact with this person may change. For instance, if you have, let's say, a love interest, but you also work together, one of you may leave the job so that you can then have the deeper romantic relationship because there could have been a conflict there. Or maybe you or that person has been in the friend zone that suddenly you're like, no, I want the real thing. I want the romance with them. So that's something that may come up. And I point that out to this transition time because, like I said, we have a full moon in Sagittarius on the 26th of the month, and it's an eclipse. It's in your sixth house of work, of routine, of health. So it's indicating to me that you will be letting go of a relationship or a situation that is work related or health habit routine related. And when I say let go, it's there to transform it, to re-energize it in a different way. Now, it is possible that you may totally let go of the relationship entirely. That if it's not healthy, especially because this full moon is going to be 12th and 6th house, if it has created mental health issues, spiritual health issues, if there's abuse here, all of that, it's time to go. If you are in this place where you have more anxiety, more fear, more gaslighting, uncertainty, because I do feel like some cancers are dealing with that, it's time to let go. I also feel as though around this full moon, there could be a sense of freedom, of being set free from whatever may have imprisoned you over the last few weeks and months. And so this gives you an opportunity to be able to um, allow yourself to integrate your experiences because we have Mercury retrograding in Gemini in that 12th house. So it's going to be dancing around this 12th house starting May 29th. We'll be in shadow before then, but it officially goes retrograde May 29th and stays there until middle of June. And in doing so, this gives you a chance to research again. Maybe you had some injustice or something happen to you that you felt you'd been wronged in some way. This Mercury retrograde can give you a chance to go back, gather more information, work behind the scenes, and then when Mercury goes direct, you hit it hard. You go for the justice that you deserve, or the feeling of I'm free and now I'm stepping into who I really am. One thing, and I'll mention this in my weekly videos, my celestial wisdom videos, but do keep in mind Mercury retrograde does cause confusion because it causes our mind to feel, and I say cause because the planets don't do anything to us, but there's no doubt energetically we feel a little foggier. We don't feel quite as sharp-minded. And so we could take information and maybe not process it the way we normally would when Mercury's direct. So if you are researching something, make lots of notes, do storyboarding, have conversations behind the scenes. This is a great time for not necessarily clarity, but for research, or for revisiting certain conversations that need to happen, or to go back over and refining some of the gifts and the information maybe that you're sharing. Some of you maybe have released a book or a curriculum, maybe you've taught something, and this is a great time to go back and talk to those students or revisit and refine the information that you shared. And then when Mercury goes direct, you relaunch it. It's a great way for you to gather maybe more income through the new launch that you can take in June. And I'll talk more about that because it'll be your month then, your birthday month at the end of June into July. But until then, Cancer, so for the month of May, I would say that your big theme is going to be for you to really trust your inner wisdom, allow yourself some space and grace as well, with this 12th house being so active, to do the research and to allow the higher wisdom to really flow into you. And maybe take some time for retreat, meditation, and whatever it is that helps you to really activate and trust that intuitive nature in you, because that's going to serve you and that's going to give you the solutions and the right people in the right place at the right time for you. And use this new moon in Taurus to really activate, lean in on your groups, your organizations, and the full moon in Sagittarius to let go of any limiting beliefs that you might have that you can't manage your daily routines, because you can. And when you have a certain system and process in place, you may be completing some things like projects and things like that. So it's a great time for just letting go of the worries and the fears and the anxieties that I can sense in you, Cancer, get created, especially by the mind. All right. I hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I look forward to supporting you however I can. Have such a good month, Cancer.